Alejandro Garnacho has been one of the bright sparks of Manchester United's season so far. Playing on the left-hand side, he has been bright throughout, picking up the ball on a regular basis and looking to drive at defenders, committing defenders before skinning past them, and then looking to deliver into the final third. And like I said, without doubt for me, he has been one of the brightest sparks. However, in the past few weeks, he has actually become even more dangerous, and that is because he has been moved to the right hand side of the attack in games against Villa like this one, and also like in the game against Wigan last night. And we can see the stats that he's producing in these games. For example, against Villa, 2 goals, 1 key pass, 2 shots on target. He was a threat in the final third. And then again last night against Wigan, 3 key passes, 2 shots on target, and he also hit the crossbar with a brilliant effort from distance. So in my opinion, I actually think Garnacho at the moment looks even more dangerous from the right hand side. The question is, why? And I actually think it's a fairly simple answer. Playing on the right hand side seems to simplify the game for a right-footed right winger. It just makes sense, particularly in transition. So first of all, let's look at Garnacho on the left-hand side in transition. What happens? Well, Manchester United will often look to move the ball forward at pace, quickly looking to hurt the opposition. And for someone like Bruno Fernandes, for example, will put the ball into this sort of space here. Garnacho will look to race onto the ball. However, he is often beaten by his opponent. However, when it happens on the right-hand side, he isn't beaten by his opponent. Why is that? Well, it is because he is right-footed. When he plays on the left-hand side and the ball gets put into this channel, he is curving his run inwards, so that by the time he gets to the ball, he is getting the ball onto his right foot. However, because he is moving naturally inside, he is of course moving towards more defenders. Defenders always cover the centre of the pitch rather than out wide. Spaces are out wide. Garnacho is regularly running from out to in to get the ball onto his right foot to get a shot off at goal. However, like I said, defenders are there and he doesn't really have the upper body strength to hold them off. However, on the right hand side, it is very different, because now when the ball is fed through the channel into this sort of area, Garnacho is happier to run in more of a straight line really. Again, being right-footed, playing on the right-hand side, it just makes sense. That's where the pass naturally goes. As this ball is played out, Garnacho now doesn't want to run inside like this, he wants to run out wide. And naturally that is going to keep him further away from defenders. So I think it has made him a better transitioning threat, and it's almost made him look a little bit quicker because he isn't actually getting as close to his opponents. He's going into space more, which has really worked. I also think in the long run, it has the potential to make him more of a goal-scoring threat in transition as well. Now, we haven't actually seen this in action yet, but it is a theory that I have, and I think we could see it. And this is why. When he plays on the left-hand side and United look to transition, let's say the ball is built down the right-hand side, someone like Rashford carries the ball forward, and the opposition come across like this, and then you play the ball through across. When you do that, and Garnacho is on the left-hand side, being right-footed, once again he makes the run from out to in. But to get this ball on his right foot, if the ball comes at him with pace, chances are he needs at least 1 touch to get the ball onto his right foot. And again, doing that, he's taking the ball back towards the opposition defenders, meaning that by the time he gets the shot off, the attack has slowed down, the opposition have got players into position, making it more difficult. However, when he plays on the other side, and United transition down the left, again, let's say Marcus Rashford goes in like this, draws the man across, Rasmus Hojlund makes a run, drags the defender over, and now the ball gets played over for someone like Garnacho, again in front of him, again, being right-footed, looking to run and step onto this ball, the ball is naturally on his right foot. So there's 2 things can happen here. Either he can take the shot first time because it's actually come onto his stronger foot initially, or even if he is to take a touch, he's taking the touch onto his right foot, which importantly, once again, is away from the opposition defender. And I think this could lead to him scoring more goals in transition. However, the improvements of Garnacho on the right wing don't just come in transitioning situations with space. They've also come in settled possession as well. So before we continue into the video, a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, jerseyfifa.com, the home of all of the greatest football kits. Whether that be the new latest releases or the old classic ones like this, Jersey FIFA has something for everyone, and now you can check it out yourself using the link in the description down below. And also make sure to use code JerseyFIFA for 10% off when you order. So why is Alejandro Garnacho seemingly more dangerous on the right hand side in settled possession? On a counter-attack or in transition, I understand it, there's a lot of space to hit, he can run onto balls first time and hit it. So how about though in settled possession, why is he still getting a benefit? Well, let's actually firstly take a look at him on the left hand side once again. When Alejandro Garnacho gets the ball on the left-hand side, the first thing he always wants to do is take on his defender. He absolutely loves it. He wants to commit players, go 1 versus 1 and try and beat them. However, when he plays on the right-hand side, once again he is trying to get the ball onto his stronger right foot, which of course naturally means he wants to come inside the pitch. What happens as a wide player when you move inside with the ball? You find yourself coming into a crowd. Nearly every team ever in football is more compact in the middle of the pitch than what they are out wide. It is always busier in the centre of the park. So Garnacho, when he dribbles down the left hand side, often find himself coming into traffic. And when he is able to go outside onto the left, he ends up crossing the ball on his left foot. Now his left foot isn't that bad, but of course isn't optimal to cross with your weak foot. And it's just not the best crossing I've ever seen. His finishing with his left foot is pretty good. The crossing, not so much, although there have been glimpses of it being good. On the right hand side, it's just a completely different proposition. All of the angles are completely different. And now when he gets the ball, rather than looking to come inside to get the ball onto his stronger foot, he is now once again going out wide. And again, we've said it a couple of times already, space in football is always out wide. It's just how football works. Space will always be in the wide areas, and we can see a couple of examples of this against Wigan. Exactly here. Garnacho's got the ball on the right hand side. It's clear he wants to get the ball onto his right foot. He doesn't want to come inside the pitch, he wants to go out wide. And you can see the space in behind the Wigan defence. So if he can beat the opponent to the ball here, knock it past them and run, he's going into space. And importantly, once he's in that space, the ball is going to be on his stronger right foot. And we see it really well here. On this occasion, Garnacho absolutely skins the defenders. He gets past the pair of them, races towards the final third, and gets himself into a really good position. That is good dribbling play, attacking the space in behind the defence. And we've got another situation similar here. We can see once again, the space is in behind the opposition, but also out wide. So what does Garnacho do? Well, first of all, he slows down the opposition, slows down the play. Then he's going to throw in a quick drop of a shoulder, a quick change of direction, and again he is looking to get the ball into that space where he knows he is so dangerous, in this big gap here, on his right foot. And again he does it again, he knocks the ball, takes a big touch, and races past all of these defenders and gets towards the byline. Now on this occasion he is actually tackled, but again you can see that he is running away from players. Rather than running into traffic in these central areas where we can see all of these players, he is running out wide, making the pitch as big as possible. And let's be honest, I go on about it quite a lot. Making the pitch as big as possible is a really important thing to do. If you want to be a good attacking setup, you have to make the pitch big. The important thing though for Garnacho is not only is he making the pitch bigger by playing on the right hand side and playing out wide, he's also seeing better end product. And again, it's pretty obvious why, particularly with his creativity and crosses into the box. Because when he gets into these positions, shapes up to cross the ball into the box, the ball is on his right foot. It's just easier for him. It's a more natural game. And for a player which isn't complete, is a little bit raw, physically isn't there and sometimes makes poor decisions, simplifying his game a little bit could actually be really good for him at this moment in time in his career. It could really benefit him playing on the right hand side. If he plays on the left, he gets into the final third. If he wants to cross the ball onto his from his right foot, I should say, it's 9 times out of 10 going to be more of a floated ball towards the back post, which is quite a difficult one to attack as a striker. Perhaps it works better for a late box crasher like McTominay, but it's quite difficult for the striker to get onto it. Whereas when you play it on the right hand side and are right footed, you get closer to the byline and really look to whip crosses into the box. And that's much better for someone like Rasmus Hojlund. Rather than the box crashing midfielders, it suits Hojlund a lot more, which actually maybe removes the need for Scott McTominay in the side, which could be another bonus. But importantly, it improves Garnacho's crossing ability. And again, we saw this on display against Wigan. But it's also not only the crossing ability and crossing quality that we're seeing from the right hand side, it's also the volume of crosses. He looks much more comfortable. You can see here Bruno Fernandes has got the ball and Garnacho is asking for this pass to be played in front of him onto his right foot, because he knows if it is, as it is on this occasion, he can put a really dangerous ball into the box first time. Now on this occasion it doesn't quite come off, Rasmus Hojlund doesn't quite get there, the cross isn't great, but you can certainly see the threat here, and this is not something that United tend to do that regularly. However, the second we play Garnacho on the right wing, it becomes a much more regular occurrence. Garnacho getting in behind the right hand side before looking to put crosses into the box. Again, this time for Scott McTominay, it doesn't quite come off again, but we can see the threat. And eventually, you really get the payoff of a cross like this with a big chance for your centre forward. The centre forward which costs so much money in the summer, you want to get the best out of them. How do you do that? You create chances like this. Garnacho does brilliantly, puts the ball into a great area because it's on his right foot. Rasmus Hojlund in the middle is a striker who thrives of this. This is exactly what he wants. It really suits his brilliant movement in the box. He's a poacher. He loves this sort of situation. Gets in front, wins the header. Ultimately, he should do better. Realistically, Rasmus Hojlund probably has to score. This is a really good chance. He probably has to put the ball into the back of the net. But at least it happened. We haven't seen any chances created for Rasmus Hojlund all season. He's really been running off scraps, really. Having Garnacho on the right hand side on his right foot, putting balls into the box, helps Rasmus Hojlund get more natural chances created for him. So the goal may not have been there, but at least he actually got the chance, and it's all because of Garnacho. This also, though, has a knock-on effect, and this is something which perhaps happens a little bit in the longer term. Because if every time Garnacho gets the ball, he starts crossing the ball into this channel here because he's right-footed, the opposition start to do something. They start to drop off just a little bit deeper in here towards their 6-yard box, because they're scared of that ball being flashed across their goal. They don't want to be running back towards their goal and turn it into the back of the net, so they drop a little bit deeper and try and get there earlier. This, however, potentially opens up the potential for someone to arrive on the edge of the box for a cutback. Something which Ten Hag loves. United don't really do it. Garnacho on the right hand side has the potential to create this. And there's actually an example of this from last season. Now, truthfully, I forgot Garnacho actually had a spell on the right wing last year in this game against Bournemouth, but we can see the threat of it. Garnacho gets the ball wide on the right hand side. And of course you can see that big area of space there, the exact area of space which Garnacho is regularly hitting against Wigan. So what's going to happen? Defenders know that he can do this on his right foot, so the defenders retreat towards their own goal, because they can't leave that space there. However, what this means is that if a player like Garnacho has the intelligence, and there is someone in the middle of the box to receive the ball, you can now score from cutbacks. And Luke Shaw actually scored on this occasion. Again, this was last season, but it's certainly a glimpse of what we could see more. Garnacho on the right hand side, going down the outside, being a massive threat. Now, as a kind of counterpoint, you might be sitting here a little bit concerned. If he plays on the right hand side, does he just always go down the outside and it's a bit repetitive and it's a bit predictable? No, Garnacho is a player with unbelievable levels of confidence and self-belief, and he, even despite playing on the weaker side, is happy to come inside onto his left foot and come into these areas where actually now we see his left-footed shots from distance. And in my opinion, he is better at shooting with his left foot than what he is at crossing from the left-hand side. And again, we have seen evidence of this ability to come inside from the game last night, but also against Villa the other week, for example, where he scored that brilliant goal with his left foot. So even despite operating wide on the right hand side, once again we can see he gets the opposition defender 1 versus 1. And you can see here the defender is worried about him going down the line. Garnacho knows that and uses that to his advantage. He manipulates the defender, one drop of the shoulder, and he is able to skip inside before releasing the ball to Kobbie Mainoo. That's a good start, showing the confidence to move into these more central positions, and it continued to happen. So yes, he can go wide and put crosses into the box from the right hand side, but also he can come inside and do the link play. It isn't as essential to his game as when he plays on the left hand side. It's more of a tool which he can use here and there, and that's much better. That makes for a much better attacking unit. So again here we can see him shaping to go down the right hand side, and both of the defenders are aware of this. If you look at their body language, they are side on looking to defend that ball into the channel. So Garnacho drops a shoulder, sells him a dream really, moves inside and once again finds a safe pass to Bruno Fernandes. Really good play, and then we've got this brilliant effort here. So once again he's going to receive the ball wide on the right hand side, he's going to stand his defender up, and then of course he gets both of these defenders square. They're scared of him hitting the byline and putting a cross into the box. He gets them exactly where he wants them, he's manipulated them very well, and then he moves the ball inside onto his left foot, takes several touches on this occasion, again showing that confidence, before firing a brilliant effort against the crossbar. Now again, in this game, he didn't actually get the goals or assists he perhaps would have wanted, but he showed that on the right wing, he brings something completely different to what Manchester United currently have. When Marcus Rashford plays on the right, he's a little bit predictable, because he only goes outside. Garnacho goes outside and he goes inside. Compare that to Antony, who is really slow, really predictable, always comes inside. Garnacho is the perfect blend between the two, and that's why he could be potentially a really good right winger for Manchester United. Do I think this is where his long-term career will be? I'm not too sure. It's very early to say. He's still very young, very early in his career, and he's only played 2 games on the right wing so far this season. But there is potential, particularly in the short term, for this to really take United's attack to the next level, and we've seen glimpses of it in the past couple of games. So I would like to see it experimented with more on a more regular basis for the rest of the season. Will it happen? I'm not too sure. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think we will see Garnacho on the right hand side on a more regular basis in the second half of the season? And if so, do you think that is a good position for him? Let me know what you think, and also subscribe to the channel while you are here. But apart from that, we are finished for today. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.